The crimson sun of Zirian Prime cast long shadows across the crystalline forest as Maya Chun adjusted her environmental suit's oxygen recycler. The 17-year-old xenobiologist apprentice had been tracking the migration patterns of crystal moths for 3 days, completely unaware that she was being hunted. The Vorthack had been stalking her since she left the research station. Standing 12 feet tall, with obsidian scales that shifted like liquid shadow, the creature was the apex predator of 3-star systems. Its 6 eyes could see across multiple spectrums, its claws could slice through starship hull plating, and its regenerative abilities made it nearly immortal. The Galactic Council had declared Vorthack space forbidden to all sentient species after they had wiped out 17 colonies in the span of a decade. Maya crouched behind a cluster of singing crystals, recording their harmonic frequencies when she heard the low rumble. It wasn't the natural sounds of the forest. Her heart hammered as she slowly turned, and there it was. The Vorthack emerged from the crystal formations like a nightmare made real, its serpentine neck extending as it studied her with those alien eyes. Most beings would have died from fear alone, but Maya had always been different. Instead of running or screaming, she noticed something wrong. The creature's left wing was dragging, and a massive thorn from one of the planet's iron trees was buried deep between its shoulder blades. Dark purple blood dripped from the wound, and the Vorthack's breathing was labored. This apex predator, this destroyer of worlds, was in agony. "You're hurt," Maya whispered, her translator converting the words into the creature's native frequency. The Vorthack's head snapped back, all 6 eyes focusing on her with laser intensity. No prey had ever spoken to it before. Most species couldn't even perceive their death approaching until it was too late. The creature made a sound like grinding metal mixed with a dying star. Maya's translator struggled for a moment before converting it. "Human child speaks the death song?" Maya slowly raised her hands, showing she carried no weapons. "I can see you're in pain. That thorn is infected. If you don't remove it soon, the poison will reach your neural center." She had studied the iron trees during her botany courses. Their thorns were designed to kill slowly, dissolving organic matter from the inside out. The Vorthack tilted its massive head, studying her with an intelligence that made her shiver. In its native tongue, which sounded like the screams of dying suns, it spoke, "Human knows of the burning death?" Maya nodded slowly. "I know about the poison, and I know you can't reach the thorn yourself." She gestured to the creature's anatomy. Despite its fearsome abilities, the Vorthack's bone structure prevented it from reaching that particular spot on its back. For several minutes, predator and human regarded each other across the crystal clearing. The Vorthack had eliminated species for less than breathing in its presence. Yet this small human showed no fear. Instead, there was something else in her eyes. Compassion. "Why does the small flesh not flee?" the Vorthack asked, its voice carrying undertones of genuine curiosity rather than threat. Maya took a careful step forward. "Because you're suffering, and because running wouldn't work anyway. You're faster than me, stronger than me, and you can probably track me across 3-star systems if you wanted to." She paused, gathering courage for what she was about to say next. "But I don't think you want to hunt me right now. I think you want to live." The Vorthack's eyes narrowed, but it didn't attack. Instead, it made a sound that might have been laughter if it came from any other throat. "Human speaks truth. The burning grows stronger with each breath cycle." Maya gestured to her field kit. "I have extraction tools and medical supplies. I've removed thorns from earth creatures before. The principle should be the same, just bigger." She tried to keep her voice steady, though her hands were trembling. "Human would touch the Deathbringer?" The Vorthack's voice carried disbelief. "Human knows what Vorthack are to galaxy." Maya nodded grimly. "I know what your people have done. I know about the colonies, the wars, the fear your species brings to the galaxy." She took another step closer, close enough now to see the pain in those alien eyes. "But I also know that every living being deserves a chance to survive, even apex predators." The Vorthack studied her for what felt like an eternity. Finally, it spoke in its native tongue, the translator working overtime to convert the complex meaning. Small human possesses courage strength beyond her flesh form. Vorthak will permit the touching, but know this. If human brings harm instead of healing, death will be swift. Maya nodded, understanding the gravity of what she was about to attempt. She was going to perform surgery on one of the galaxy's most dangerous creatures, armed with nothing but field medical supplies and hope. As she approached the wounded predator, she couldn't help but wonder if her xenobiology professor would approve of this particular field study. The Vorthak lowered itself to the crystal ground, its massive form creating tremors that made the singing crystals change their tune to something almost mournful. Maya could see the thorn clearly now. It was enormous, easily the size of her forearm, and it had penetrated deep into the creature's muscular structure. Worse, the area around the wound was turning black as the poison spread through the Vorthak system. "This is going to hurt," Maya warned, pulling out her laser scalpel and hoping the portable unit had enough power for what she needed to do. The Vorthak's response rumbled through the ground. Pain is known to Vorthak. Proceed, small healer. Maya's hands moved with surprising steadiness as she began the delicate operation. The laser scalpel hummed to life, its blue beam designed for precise biological work. She had to cut away the infected tissue around the thorn before attempting extraction, and every movement had to be perfect. One wrong cut could sever something vital, and she doubted the Vorthak would appreciate being paralyzed by a human teenager. "The poison has spread further than I thought," Maya murmured, watching the readouts on her medical scanner. "Your blood chemistry is completely different from anything I've studied, but the toxin pattern is similar to what I've seen in Earth reptiles." The Vorthak's massive head turned slightly to observe her work. "Human studies the flesh patterns of many worlds." Maya continued cutting away necrotic tissue, surprised by the creature's conversational tone. "I'm studying xenobiology. Life adapts differently on every world, but there are patterns. Pain, healing, survival. Those are universal languages." She paused her work to apply a coagulant gel to stop the bleeding. "What were you doing in this forest anyway? This planet is supposed to be uninhabited." A sound like distant thunder emerged from the Vorthak's throat. Vorthak hunt the metal singers that nest in crystal trees. But metal singers are clever. They lead hunters into thorn traps. The creature's eyes fixed on Maya with an intensity that made her shiver. "Small human tracks metal singers also?" Maya nodded, keeping her focus on the surgery. "Crystal moths. We call them crystal moths because of how they look in our light spectrum. I'm studying their migration patterns for my research project." She began working the extraction clamp around the base of the thorn. "Your people and mine might be studying the same creatures for completely different reasons. Human seeks knowledge. Vorthak seeks sustenance." The creature paused, then added something that made Maya's translator work over time. "Perhaps both species understand the value of adaptation." The thorn shifted slightly as Maya worked the clamp deeper. The Vorthak's muscles tensed, but it remained perfectly still. Maya was amazed by its self-control. Even sedated earth animals would be thrashing by now. "I need to go deeper," Maya warned. "The thorn has barbs that are preventing extraction. I'll have to widen the wound channel." The Vorthak's response surprised her. "Human possesses warrior mind. Proceeds without fear scent." Maya paused, looking up at the massive creature. "You can smell fear? All emotions carry scent signatures. Human carries determination scent and focus scent, but no fear scent." The Vorthak's 6 eyes studied her intently. Most beings reek of terror scent when Vorthak presence is known. Human is unusual. Maya resumed her work, cutting carefully around the barbed segments of the thorn. "I learned a long time ago that fear doesn't help anyone. When my little brother was attacked by a pack of dire wolves on our colony world, I didn't have time for fear. I just had time for action." The Vorthak's head tilted in what might have been curiosity. "Small human fought dire pack with nothing but a mining laser and a lot of anger." Maya grunted as she worked the extraction clamp around a particularly stubborn barb. "Dire wolves are pack hunters, but they're also cowards. They don't expect their prey to fight back intelligently. She looked up at the Vorthack again. I imagine most of your prey doesn't fight back either. Prey usually dies from fear before Vorthack arrives for consumption, the creature admitted. Human child fights like apex predator despite small flesh form. Maya felt a strange sense of pride at the compliment. Here she was, earning respect from one of the galaxy's most feared creatures, while performing emergency surgery in a crystal forest on an alien world. Her xenobiology professor would either give her top marks or have her committed to a psychiatric facility. The Thorn suddenly shifted more dramatically as one of the barbs came free. Dark purple blood flowed from the wound, but Maya quickly applied pressure and more coagulant. I think I've got it loose. One more barb, and I can extract the whole thing. Pain increases, the Vorthack noted clinically. But human technique shows skill knowledge. Where did small human learn flesh mending? Maya worked carefully around the final barb, sweat beading inside her environmental suit. My mother was a combat medic during the Centauri conflicts. She taught me field medicine when I was 10 years old. Said every colonist should know how to patch up trauma wounds. The final barb came free, and Maya positioned the extraction clamp around the base of the thorn. This is it. On my count. 3, 2, 1. She pulled with all her strength while activating the clamp's mechanical assistance. The thorn came free in a rush of purple blood and clear fluid. It was even larger than she had thought, nearly as long as her entire arm, and covered with vicious-looking barbs that explained why the Vorthack couldn't extract it alone. Success! The Vorthack rumbled, and, for the first time since she'd encountered it, the creature's voice carried something like relief. Maya quickly irrigated the wound channel with antibiotic solution and began applying synthetic tissue patches to promote healing. The poison should start clearing from your system within a few hours. Your natural regeneration should handle the rest, but avoid strenuous activity for at least a day. The Vorthack slowly raised its massive head, testing the mobility of its previously injured wing. The movement was smooth and pain-free. Human has returned function strength to Vorthack flesh form. The creature's 6 eyes focused on Maya with laser intensity. Debt of life continuation is acknowledged. Maya packed up her medical supplies, hands finally beginning to shake with delayed reaction. You don't owe me anything. I just did what anyone should do when they see a living being in pain. The Vorthack made that sound like grinding metal and dying stars again, but this time Maya realized it was laughter. Human speaks of anyone should do, but galaxy-wide, no being has ever offered aid to Vorthack. All flee or attack. None heal. The creature slowly rose to its full height, wings spreading wide enough to block out the crimson sun. Maya Chun, xenobiologist, has shown Vorthack new pattern of existence. Maya realized she had never told the creature her name. How did you know my full name and profession? The Vorthack's eyes glittered with alien humor. Vorthack here, all radio frequencies. Human Research Station broadcasts regular status reports. The creature paused, studying her with newfound respect. Question remains, what does Vorthack offer in return for life gift? Maya considered the question seriously. She could ask for safe passage back to her research station. She could ask for protection during her research. She could ask for any number of practical things that would benefit her studies or her safety. Instead, she found herself asking something entirely different. Tell me about your people, Maya said quietly. Not the propaganda version that fills the galactic databases. The real version. Help me understand what Vorthack are beyond the fear and the legends. The Vorthack's 6 eyes studied Maya for a long moment, and she could sense the creature weighing her request against centuries of species conditioning. Finally, it settled back onto the crystal ground, its massive form creating a natural amphitheater around her. Human asked for truth knowledge rather than life preservation, the Vorthack observed. This choice carries wisdom weight. The creature's voice took on a different quality, deeper and more resonant. Maya Chin, xenobiologist, seeks understanding of Deathbringer species. Maya sat cross-legged on the crystal ground, her recorder active. This was potentially the first peaceful contact between humans and Vorthak in galactic history. I want to understand. The galaxy sees your people as monsters, but monsters don't usually appreciate medical assistance or engage in philosophical conversation. The Vorthak made that grinding sound again, but this time it seemed more contemplative than amused. Vorthak were not always as galaxy knows us now. Long time passed before star bridges connected worlds. Vorthak were builders of great beauty structures. Maya's recorder captured every harmonic as the Vorthak continued. Our world was dying. Starfire grew weak. Ice death crept across land masses. Vorthak chose survival over beauty-making. We became hunters of other worlds, takers of warmth life from star systems with strong fire. So the aggression was born from necessity, Maya said, beginning to understand. Your people became apex predators because the alternative was extinction. Truth speaking, the Vorthak confirmed. But necessity choice became ingrained in flesh memory. Young Vorthak know only hunting ways, not building ways. Culture knowledge of beauty-making is lost forgotten. Maya felt a deep sadness for this magnificent creature and its people. That's why you hunt alone. Pack hunters share culture and knowledge, but solitary predators lose their history over generations. The Vorthak's head tilted in what she was beginning to recognize as surprise. Human understands pack dynamics versus lone hunter patterns. It's basic xenosociology, Maya explained. Species that hunt in groups maintain complex cultural structures. Species that hunt alone often lose everything except survival instincts over evolutionary time. She paused, studying the creature's reaction. But you're different. You remember that your people were once builders. Vorthak, designated Kethvar, remembers fragments, the creature said, and Maya realized it had just given her its individual name. Most Vorthak know only hunger drive and territory claiming. Kethvar seeks different path choice. Maya felt a thrill of scientific excitement mixed with genuine emotion. You want to rediscover the lost parts of your culture. Kethvar's massive head nodded slowly. Human Maya-chan shows that healing knowledge exists alongside hunting knowledge. If small flesh human can repair apex predator form, perhaps apex predator can rediscover beauty-making knowledge. The implication hit Maya like a starship's gravity wave. You want to learn, not just about healing, but about everything your people have forgotten. Kethvar proposes exchange bargain. The Vorthak said formally. Human continues knowledge-seeking of metal singers and other life patterns. Kethvar provides protection service and shares knowledge of Vorthak history fragments. Both species benefit from knowledge exchange. Maya's mind raced with the possibilities. A partnership with a Vorthak could revolutionize xenobiology. She could study life patterns across 3-star systems under the protection of an apex predator. But more than that, she might be able to help an entire species rediscover their lost heritage. The Galactic Council would never approve, Maya said honestly. Humans working with Vorthak would be seen as collaboration with an enemy species. Kethvar's eyes glittered with alien cunning. Human Research Station receives regular supply drops. Kethvar observes from distance, learns human knowledge patterns. When supply ship arrives, human reports discovery of cooperative Vorthak specimen. Supply ship crew witness peaceful interaction. Maya grinned despite the enormity of what they were discussing. You want to stage a first contact scenario that makes it look like you approach humans peacefully. True speaking becomes acceptable when presented in correct context framework, Kethvar agreed. Galaxy believes Vorthak incapable of peaceful interaction. Demonstration of cooperation possibility changes perception patterns. Maya stood up, brushing crystal dust from her environmental suit. This is either the most brilliant interspecies cooperation plan in galactic history, or the most elaborate way to get close to a human research station ever devised. She looked up at the massive predator that had somehow become her unlikely partner. How do I know you won't just eat me and my colleagues once you get close to the station? Kethvar rose to full height and performed what Maya could only describe as a bow, lowering his massive head until his eyes were level with hers. When he spoke, his voice carried harmonics that our translator marked as sacred or ritual tones. By ancient honor codes of Vorthak people, Kethvar swears protection bond to Mayachan xenobiologist. Life debt becomes partnership commitment. Harm to human Maya brings death challenge to any who threaten protection ward. The creature paused, then added in simpler tones. Kethvar will guard humans' life force as fiercely as own territorial boundaries. Maya felt a chill run through her as she realized the magnitude of what had just happened. In Vorthak culture, apparently, she had just received a promise of protection that carried the weight of sacred law. "What does that mean exactly?" she asked. Kethvar straightened to full height, wings spreading wide. "It means that Mayachan has become Vorthak territory. Any being that threatens human Maya declares war upon Kethvar personally." The creature's 6 eyes focused on her with laser intensity. "It means that apex predator will face extinction before allowing harm to come to human partner." Maya stared up at the magnificent and terrifying creature that had just sworn to protect her with its life. "And what do you need from me in return?" "Teach Kethvar to remember beauty-making," the Vorthak said simply. "Show Vorthak how to be more than hunters. Help lost species find path back to stars without leaving trail of death scent." Maya extended her hand in a human gesture of partnership. "Deal." Kethvar studied the extended hand for a moment, then carefully extended one massive claw and touched it gently to Maya's palm. The touch was surprisingly warm, and Maya could feel the controlled strength behind it. "Partnership bond is sealed," Kethvar intoned. "Now human Maya must return to research station before colleagues begin search patterns. Kethvar will observe from safe distance and learn human knowledge-sharing methods." Maya gathered her equipment, her mind already racing with plans. "My next supply drop is in 6 days. That gives us time to work out the details of our first contact scenario. Kethvar will be ready," the creature promised. Metal Singer migration patterns continue for 17-day cycles. Much knowledge gathering remains possible. As Maya prepared to leave the crystal clearing, she turned back to look at her unlikely partner. "Kethvar, thank you for trusting me." The Vorthak's response rumbled through the crystal formations like distant thunder. Human Maya chose healing over fleeing when faced with apex predator. Trust choice was earned through courage action. Maya made her way back through the crystal forest, her mind buzzing with the implications of what had just happened. She was no longer just a xenobiology student. She was now the first human to successfully partner with a Vorthak, and possibly the key to changing the relationship between two species forever. Maya spent the next 5 days in a state of controlled excitement mixed with growing anxiety. She continued her research on the crystal moths, but now she was also secretly observing Kethvar's behavior patterns from distance. The Vorthak kept its word, maintaining surveillance of her activities while remaining hidden from her research team colleagues. Dr. Harrison Webb, her research supervisor, noticed her distraction during the morning briefing. "Maya, you've been unusually quiet since your solo expedition. Everything all right out there?" Maya forced herself to maintain normal behavior patterns. "Just processing a lot of new data, Dr. Webb. The crystal moth migration is more complex than I initially theorized." Her colleague Janet, a marine biologist specializing in aquatic ecosystems, looked up from her datapad. "Any interesting predator interactions?" The local ecosystem must have some kind of apex species to keep the herbivore populations in check. Maya's heart hammered, but she kept her voice steady. "I've detected some large predator signatures, but nothing I've been able to observe directly yet." It wasn't technically a lie, she reasoned. She hadn't observed Kethvar during his hunting activities. Dr. Webb nodded approvingly. "Good scientific caution. Remember, this planet is still largely unexplored. We don't know what kind of dangerous fauna might exist in the deeper forest regions." That evening, Maya slipped away from the research station under the pretense of collecting night-active specimens. She made her way to the crystal clearing where she had first encountered Kethvar, using the agreed-upon harmonic signal they had established. The Vortex emerged from the shadows like a living nightmare, but Maya no longer felt fear. Instead, she felt the strange comfort of an established partnership. Human Maya appears troubled. Kethvar observed immediately. Stress sense carry worry patterns. Maya sank onto a crystal formation, pulling off her helmet to breathe the planet's naturally compatible atmosphere. Tomorrow the supply ship arrives. Once we make contact with Captain Rodriguez and his crew, everything changes. Are you sure you're ready for this? Kethvar settled beside her, his massive form creating a windbreak against the planet's evening breezes. Kethvar has observed human interaction patterns for 6-day cycles. Research team demonstrates cooperation behavior and knowledge-sharing protocols. Captain Rodriguez files indicate experienced contact specialist with 17 first contact scenarios in service record. Maya was continually amazed by the Vortex intelligence gathering capabilities. You've been monitoring our communications and files? Vortex survival instincts require complete environmental awareness, Kethvar explained. Understanding human command structure and individual personality patterns increases success probability of peaceful contact scenario. Maya pulled up her datapad and showed Kethvar her recorded observations. I've been documenting everything about our partnership. Behavioral patterns, communication methods, evidence of your species' intelligence, and cultural complexity. But, Maya, I need to ask you something important. The Vortex's 6 eyes focused on her intently. Human Maya carries question burden. When Captain Rodriguez's crew sees you for the first time, they're going to be terrified. Their first instinct will be to protect the research team, which means they'll try to kill you. Maya met the creature's alien gaze steadily. If they attack you, what will you do? Kethvar was silent for a long moment, and Maya could sense the creature weighing its response carefully. Vortex instincts demand immediate elimination of threats to survival. But protection bond to Maya-chun requires demonstration of peaceful intentions. The creature's massive head tilted thoughtfully. Kethvar will endure human aggression without retaliation, trusting human Maya to establish communication protocols before damage becomes life-threatening. Maya felt a chill of responsibility. You're putting your life in my hands. Human Maya placed healing hand upon Vortex flesh form when death poison threatened survival. Kethvar replied. Trust bond requires reciprocal courage demonstration. The next morning came too quickly. Maya watched from the research station's observation dome as Captain Rodriguez's supply ship, the Meridian Explorer, descended through Zirian Prime's atmosphere. The familiar hum of human technology seemed suddenly alien after her days of partnership with Kethvar. Supply drop incoming, Dr. Webb announced. Standard procedure, people. Maya, since you've been doing the most extensive field work, you'll brief Captain Rodriguez on our findings. Maya's stomach churned. Of course, Dr. Webb. Captain Rodriguez was exactly what Maya had expected from his files, a weathered veteran of deep space exploration with eyes that missed nothing and hands that stayed close to his sidearm. His crew consisted of Lieutenant Sarah Kim, a xenobiology specialist, and Sergeant Marcus Torres, the ship's security officer. Dr. Webb, good to see the research station intact, Rodriguez said as he reviewed their reports. Any significant discoveries to report? Maya took a deep breath. Actually, Captain, there's been one unprecedented development. She activated her datapad and displayed her recordings of Kethvar. I've documented what appears to be the first peaceful contact with a Vortex specimen. The reaction was immediate and dramatic. Sergeant Torres had his plasma rifle in his hands before Maya finished speaking, and Lieutenant Kim stumbled backward with a look of pure terror. Jesus Christ, Maya. Dr. Webb exclaimed. You've been in contact with a Vortex? Are you insane? Captain Rodriguez held up a hand for silence, his eyes locked on Maya's recordings. Explain. Now, Maya activated the holographic display, showing the footage of her medical treatment of Kethvar's wound. 6 days ago, I encountered a wounded Vortex in the Crystal Forest. Instead of attacking me, it allowed me to provide medical assistance. Since then, we've established a communication protocol and begun cultural exchange. This is a trick, Sergeant Torres said grimly. Vorthak don't communicate. They hunt. They kill. They move on. That's what we all believed, Maya said steadily. But our beliefs were based on limited data. This individual has demonstrated advanced intelligence, cultural memory, and, most importantly, the capacity for honor-bound agreements. Lieutenant Kim found her voice. Maya, you've been in contact with one of the most dangerous predator species in known space. How are you even still alive? Maya smiled, despite the tension in the room. Because I'm under the protection of a Vorthak honor bond. And because everything we thought we knew about their species is incomplete. Captain Rodriguez studied the recordings intently, his experience with first contact scenarios evident in his systematic analysis. The communication patterns are consistent with high intelligence. The medical cooperation is unprecedented. He looked up at Maya. You're proposing that this creature wants peaceful contact? I'm proposing that this individual represents a faction of Vorthak society that we never knew existed, Maya said. Kethvar remembers fragments of his people's pre-hunter culture. He wants to help his species rediscover their lost heritage. Dr. Webb shook his head in disbelief. Kethvar, you've given a name? It gave me its name, Maya corrected. And it's not an it. He's an individual with personality, memories, hopes, and dreams. He's just expressed in a form that evolution designed for apex predation. Sergeant Torres remained skeptical. So where is this supposedly peaceful death machine now? Maya activated her communicator and broadcast the harmonic signal she and Kethvar had established. He's been observing the research station since yesterday, waiting for the right moment to make contact. The response came immediately. A low harmonic rumble that seemed to emerge from the crystal formations around the research station. Every human in the room tensed as the sound grew closer. Remember, Maya said urgently, he's putting himself at tremendous risk by revealing himself to us. If we attack him, we're not just ending a unique opportunity for interspecies cooperation. We're potentially starting a war. Captain Rodriguez made a command decision. Stand down, Sergeant. But maintain ready position. He looked at Maya intently. You better be right about this, kid. Because if you're wrong, we're all dead. The research station's external sensors detected movement, and then Kethvar appeared at the edge of the clearing. Even at a distance, his massive form was utterly intimidating. Maya heard Lieutenant Kim whisper a prayer in 3 languages. He's magnificent, Maya breathed, watching her partner approach the station with careful, non-threatening movements. Captain Rodriguez activated the station's external communication system. This is Captain Rodriguez of the Meridian Explorer. I welcome you to peaceful contact. Kethvar's response rumbled through the communication system, translated automatically. Kethvar acknowledges human Captain Rodriguez. Peaceful intentions confirmed. Request permission to approach human Maya for partnership protocol demonstration. Maya looked at Captain Rodriguez. This is it, the moment that could change everything between our species. The captain studied her for a long moment, then nodded grimly. Make your contact, Maya. But stay connected to communications at all times. Maya walked across the crystal clearing with her heart hammering against her ribs, every step taking her further from human safety and closer to an alien predator that could end her life with a casual swipe. Behind her, she could feel the tension radiating from Captain Rodriguez and his crew as they watched through the research station sensors. Kethvar waited at the center of the clearing, his massive form motionless except for the subtle rise and fall of his breathing. As Maya approached, she could see that he had positioned himself in what she recognized as a submissive posture, head lowered, wings folded, making himself as non-threatening as possible while still maintaining his dignity. Human Maya demonstrates courage strength before watching pack. Kethvar observed as she came within speaking range. Partnership bond holds strong despite fear sense from research station. Maya activated her external communicator so the conversation would be broadcast back to the station. How are you feeling about all this, Kethvar? First time meeting humans other than me. Kethvar experiences what humans might term nervous anticipation. The Vorthak replied, his translated words carrying subtle humor. Apex predator instincts suggest immediate territorial defense. Honor bond instincts demand peaceful demonstration. Internal conflict creates interesting sensation patterns. Captain Rodriguez's voice crackled through Maya's communicator. Ask him about the colony attacks. We need to understand what we're dealing with here. Maya nodded, knowing this question had to be addressed. Kethvar, the humans watching us have lost friends and family to Vorthak attacks. They need to understand the difference between you and the hunters who destroy those colonies. The Vorthak's massive head lifted slightly, and Maya could see pain in those alien eyes. Kethvar carries shame burden for death actions of own species. Colony attacks were performed by Vorthak who follow only hunger drive and territory expansion protocols. He paused, searching for words that would translate properly. Human Captain Rodriguez lost colleagues in Centauri 7 attack. There was a long pause before Captain Rodriguez answered. I was there. Lost my first command and 30 good people to your kind. Kethvar slowly lowered himself to the crystal ground, bringing his massive head to Maya's eye level. When he spoke, his voice carried harmonics that Maya's translator marked as profound grief and formal apology. Kethvar offers death-mourning acknowledgement for human lives lost to Vorthak aggression. Individual cannot undo species crimes, but individual can choose different path direction for future encounters. The creature's 6 eyes fixed on the research station's sensor array. Human Captain Rodriguez carries warrior scars from defending pack members. Kethvar recognizes honor strength in survival protection actions. Maya could hear the surprise in Captain Rodriguez's voice as he responded. It's offering condolences for the people we lost? Vorthak emotional range includes grief patterns and honor recognition, Kethvar explained. Apex predator capabilities do not eliminate empathy functions. Kethvar grieves for unnecessary death actions by own species. Lieutenant Kim's voice came through the communicator. Maya, ask him about Vorthak social structure. If he's different from the others, why? What makes him capable of peaceful contact when the rest of his species isn't? Maya relayed the question, and Kethvar's response revealed the depth of his people's tragedy. Vorthak society fragmented when homeworld became ice death. Young generation Vorthak learn only survival hunting from birth moment. Cultural memory keepers become rare extinct. Kethvar learned beauty making fragments from elder memory before elder died gone. The creature's voice carried deep sadness. Most Vorthak know only hunger drive. Kethvar seeks to rediscover lost knowledge patterns. Dr. Webb's voice joined the conversation. You're suggesting that Vorthak aggression is learned behavior, not innate biological programming? Truth speaking, Kethvar confirmed. Vorthak possess choice capability like all sentient species, but choice requires knowledge options. Current Vorthak generation knows only killing choices. The creature looked directly at Maya. Human Maya showed healing choice where Kethvar expected death choice. New knowledge option creates possibility for different behavior pattern. Captain Rodriguez was quiet for several minutes, and Maya could imagine him processing the implications. Finally, he spoke. Maya, I want to attempt direct communication with your partner. Can you establish a link? Maya looked at Kethvar, who nodded slowly. She adjusted her communicator settings to allow direct audio exchange between the research station and the Vorthak. Kethvar of the Vorthak, Captain Rodriguez said formally. This is Captain Rodriguez of the Human Space Exploration Service. I want to understand your intentions regarding my people and this research mission. Kethvar's response carried the weight of formal diplomatic protocol. Human Captain Rodriguez, Kethvar seeks knowledge exchange partnership with human researchers. Offer protection service for research activities in exchange for learning opportunities about human knowledge-gathering methods. The creature paused, then added, also seek human assistance in rediscovering lost Vorthak cultural knowledge patterns. And What guarantee do we have that this isn't an elaborate setup for an attack? Sergeant Torres interjected. Kethvar's answer surprised everyone. Human Sergeant Torres demonstrates proper pack protection instincts. Distrust of apex predator shows wisdom strength. The Vorthack spread his wings wide, displaying the healing wound where Maya had removed the thorn. Kethvar offers life debt demonstration. Human Maya preserved Vorthack existence when death poison threatened survival. Honor bond requires life protection service in return. Captain Rodriguez's voice carried new interest. You're bound by honor to protect Maya? Protection bond extends to all humans under Mayachan authority structure while partnership continues, Kethvar clarified. Attack on research station becomes attack on Vorthack territory. Kethvar will defend human research pack with apex predator capabilities. Maya felt a chill of realization. Kethvar, are you saying you'd fight other Vorthack to protect us? If necessary for honor bond fulfillment. The creature confirmed matter-of-factly. Apex Predator versus Apex Predator combat is significant undertaking. But honor debt requires commitment to human Maya survival protection. Lieutenant Kim's voice carried wonder. Captain, if this is genuine, we're looking at the first protective alliance between humans and a Vorthack. The scientific implications alone. Captain Rodriguez made his decision. Maya, I'm authorizing continued contact under strict protocols. We'll establish a formal research partnership with your Vorthack ally, but with constant monitoring and emergency procedures in place. Kethvar's response rumbled with satisfaction. Human Captain Rodriguez demonstrates leadership wisdom. Kethvar accepts monitoring protocols and emergency preparation as reasonable safety measures. Over the following hours, they established the framework for an unprecedented interspecies cooperation. Kethvar would assist with research activities while learning human scientific methods. In return, Maya and her team would help him document and preserve Vorthack cultural memory fragments. The partnership would be carefully documented as the first successful peaceful contact with a Vorthack species. As the Zirian Prime Sun set behind the crystal formations, Maya found herself sitting beside her massive alien partner while Captain Rodriguez and his crew prepared their reports for the Galactic Council. Do you think this will work? Maya asked quietly. Can one partnership really change the relationship between our species? Kethvar's response carried both hope and determination. Human Maya chose healing over fear when facing apex predator. Choice demonstration proves that change possibility exists. If one human can choose cooperation, perhaps other humans can learn cooperation choice. If one Vorthack can choose partnership, perhaps other Vorthack can learn partnership choice. Maya looked up at the alien stars visible through Zirian Prime's thin atmosphere. It's going to be complicated. Both our species have a lot of history to overcome. History patterns can be changed by new choice actions, Kethvar observed. Human Maya and Kethvar have created first new pattern between species. New patterns can grow into new possibilities. Captain Rodriguez approached them, his expression thoughtful. Maya, what you've accomplished here goes beyond xenobiology research. You've potentially opened a door to ending one of the galaxy's most destructive conflicts. Maya stood and looked between her human colleague and her Vorthack partner. It started with just removing a thorn. Sometimes the biggest changes begin with the smallest acts of compassion. Kethvar rose to his full impressive height, wings spreading wide against the alien sky. Human wisdom speaking. Small healing action becomes foundation for species cooperation possibility. The creature's voice carried deep satisfaction. Apex Predator learns that partnership strength exceeds solitary hunter strength. As Maya prepared to return to the research station, she realized that she was no longer just a xenobiology student. She had become the first human to forge a true alliance with one of the galaxy's most feared species. The thorn she had removed from Kethvar's wing had extracted something far more significant than just a poison barb. It had removed a barrier that had separated two intelligent species for generations. The future remained uncertain, but for the first time in galactic history, humans and Vorthak were facing it together. And it had all begun with a young woman who chose to heal rather than flee when confronted with her greatest fear.